Okay, so when you think of an organ, what pops into your head? Probably some old, dusty instrument in a church, right? Well, I want you to just erase that image. Because long before there were synthesizers, before we had laptops making music, there was this, the original sound machine. A totally massive piece of acoustic tech designed to build entire worlds of sound literally from the ground up.
So what if I told you a musical instrument could also be an entire building? Seriously, just think about that for a second. We're not talking about an instrument that's just in a building. We're talking about one that practically is the building. It's a machine with literally thousands of moving parts, filling up whole rooms floor to ceiling.
So yeah, meet the biggest, most complex acoustic instrument on Earth. We are, of course, talking about the pipe organ. And trust me, this isn't magic. It's pure, mind-blowing engineering. So today, we're going to break down how this absolute beast of an instrument actually works.
All right, so how do you even begin to control something this big? I mean, you can't just walk up and start mashing keys. Nope. First, you gotta make your way to the command center. We're calling it the ultimate control deck.
And here it is, the console. Now, don't just think of this as a keyboard. No way. This is your cockpit. It's like the ultimate gaming rig, where every single switch, every key, and every pedal gives you total control over a literal symphony of sound.
So, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is actually pretty simple on the surface. Step 1, you sit down at the console. Step 2, you pull these knobs called stops to choose your sound. We'll get way more into those in a bit, don't worry. Step 3, you play the keys and the pedals. And step 4, you unleash an absolutely epic wall of sound.
Let's look at your controls. They're basically split into three main parts. First, you've got these stacked keyboards for your hands. Those are called manuals. Then, down below, you've got the pedal board, which is, you guessed it, a massive keyboard you play with your feet. That's where all those super deep, rumbling bass notes come from. But the real MVPs here, the stops. Those are the knobs and switches that let you change up your entire sound.
Okay, so you're at the console, right? You press a key, you stomp on a pedal, but then what? How does that simple action travel through this gigantic machine to actually make a sound? Well, let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine.
You might think it's all electric, but for the sound itself, nope. The secret sauce is pressurized air. That's it. Organists call it wind. And get this, back in the day, people had to manually pump these giant bellows to get that air flowing. Can you imagine? Thankfully, we've got electric blowers to do the heavy lifting now.
So how does your command actually get to the pipes, especially when they might be like all the way across a huge room? Well, there are two main ways. You've got the old school way called tracker action. Think of it as a direct mechanical link, a whole system of wood and wires connecting your key right to the pipe. Then there's the new school way, electric action, which just sends an electric signal. To put it in gaming terms, tracker action is like a mechanical keyboard. You feel that direct, clicky, tactile response. Electric action, that's your wireless controller. It's super smooth, super responsive, and it means you can put the console basically anywhere you want.
All right, so we know how to control it, and we know what powers it. But now we get to the fun part, the most creative part. This is where you go from just being a player to being a full-on sound designer. You're about to craft your very own sonic universe.
And how do you do that? With those stops we talked about earlier. Remember them? Every single one of those knobs you pull activates a whole set of pipes, and each set has its own unique voice. Think of it exactly like choosing your sound loadout before a match, or maybe like picking a character skin. You are literally building your sound from the ground up every single time you play.
So what's in this loadout of yours? Well, the sounds are grouped into four main families, kind of like character classes in a game. First up, you have the principals. That's your main character, the classic foundational organ sound. Then you have the flutes. Think of them as your support class, maybe your mages. They're soft, mellow, and warm. Next, the strings. These are your agile archers or rogues, bright, thin, and sharp. And finally, the reeds. These are your heavy-hitting warriors. They're loud, bold, powerful, and totally in your face, kind of like a trumpet blast.
And here's something really cool. The material the pipe is made of totally changes its sound. It's wild. The metal pipes, which are usually made from a tin and lead alloy, give you that bright, silvery, loud sound. They're the frontline melody makers, the ones you usually see. But then you have wooden pipes. They're usually square and tucked away inside. They create a much warmer, earthier, more mellow sound. They are the deep bass foundation of the whole thing.
And get this incredible tech is not new, not even close. The organ, in some form, has been around for over 2,000 years. Yeah,
2000. Its history stretches all the way back to ancient Greece. It's been evolving right alongside human technology this whole time.
And that's probably why it stuck around for so long. The pipe organ is just this perfect fusion of science and art. It's an engineering marvel and a musical instrument all in one. To put it simply, it's a masterpiece of human engineering and musical art.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. The pipe organ is the original synthesizer. It's a completely acoustic machine that lets one person, just one person, combine all these different sounds and textures to build a whole universe of sound from nothing but air.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, right? I mean, we live in an age of AI, digital music, and literally infinite samples on our laptops. So what? What can this incredible physical acoustic machine still teach us? What can we learn from it about sound, about technology, and about what it really means to create something truly epic? It's something to think about. Anyway, thanks so much for checking out this explainer with me.